Hey y'all, it's Miss Vicky from the Carolinas, the foothills of northern, the northern foothills. I don't know what I'm trying to do. Okay, this is my weekly recap, and I'm kind of doing this like I'm live, and it's kind of this is a test, and then we'll go from here. And I may start doing this live. If anybody would want to, we could decide a time and just try to do it every week. And sometimes it may be I have to change it if I go on vacation or something like that. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm trying to figure out if I'm looking at the lens instead of looking at the screen or the camera lens, whatever. That's what I'm trying to do. Okay, this is Saturday. It's 8 o'clock a.m., March the 8th, and I'm not sure what the temp is. I think it's in the 40s. I don't see any frost on the roof on the house below me, so I don't think it frosted. I think it's there was a little wind. So anyway, I'm not going to go day by day. I'm just going to look at some of the videos here that I printed out the transcript from. And just kind of, yeah, I've got a book here. Look, a book. Okay. Let's start out with the one where I guess this is going to be Wednesday. He's talking about Trump's speech. And I'm not going to get too deep into it, but anyway, he starts talking about, that the president just killed it, just put the Democrats in their place. And that's not necessarily true. He did make some valid points, but then again, you have the opposite side over here saying that he didn't do worth crap. So it's up to you to decide. Of course, we know the way Tim thinks. He thinks Trump can do no wrong. They're human. Sometimes they're going to do well, and sometimes they're going to fail. It's just the way it is. But let's just look at some of the things he said here. Now, remember, this is a live video that I'm filming here. I'm not going to edit. It's uncut. It's uncut. All right. Okay, he says in 6 months, we're going to see the results, the good and the bad. But we're always going to be in a lag effect. Everything is, however, we've sped it up. I mean, you can see things happen today, and I can feel it tomorrow. That's right. He can feel it tomorrow. Now, he'll say that I'm plagiarizing. I'm not. This is all stuff that Tim said. Give Tim the credit. It's not plagiarism. All right. He says Elon Musk is going to correct everything. That Elon Musk, he is something else. He is going to correct everything. That's what Tim believes. And he's also going to take this YouTube channel he has to new heights. Tim is going to take his channel to new heights and make it the best channel on YouTube. That's what Tim's going to do. How did y'all like his ASMR video yesterday? I know I'm yelling. How did y'all like that video? Was it good? What did y'all think of the ASMR video? He said it was silent. He's behind in the times. It's ASMR. We don't say silent movies in this day and time. They're ASMR videos. So what did y'all think of it? Do y'all think, I hit something else? Oh no. How do I get out of that? Something about bubble. All right, I'm just gonna leave it. Just gonna leave it for now. Let's see, what else can we see here? Oh, he says people are concerned that Elon Musk has their social security number. Well, honey, I don't know what he's gonna do with it when he has it. I mean, I'm not gonna worry about what Elon Musk does. I ain't done nothing for him to come down on me. All right. We're gonna go to something else. These transcripts are so long, and I may have to stop this and come back to it, but I'm not going to because I'm going to keep it going. That's what I'm going to do. You can see that I've not practiced this, and I should have. How long is this thing? All right, let's talk about the Fireside chat from 3-5. So how's it going, everybody? He loves to start that out. He says, and this is what he says, and that he did not make this up. Now, he's quoting this from someone else. I've heard this before. He says it's hotter than a two-peckered polecat. Now, I don't know exactly what that means. I mean, I've heard it all my life, but I don't really know what that means. A two-peckered polecat. If somebody knows what that means, let me know. But they do have a breeze. Well, that's good. They have a breeze. We had a too much breeze Wednesday night up here in the mountains. But anyway, at least we didn't have no fires around this area. Well, I take that back. There was one up there behind Walmart. I read about that yesterday. I didn't hear nothing about it until yesterday, but they got it contained good. So the Wilkesboro Fire Department did a good job. Good job. I think they said it was like 6 acres. Don't know what caused it, but they arrested that. I know I'm getting off track here. They arrested some woman down in Myrtle Beach for that one. I don't know if she was burning or she's outside smoking a cigarette or what. But people, you know when the humidity's low. You know when the wind's blowing. You know if it's not rained, in quite a while, and you go outside and you don't feel the humidity, especially in Myrtle Beach, that it's going to be dry. And you don't throw cigarettes out. All right, that's my lecture for today. Probably not, but that's my lecture for today. Okay, he says he's sweating bullets and had to change shirts. Well, I'm glad we didn't get to see his sweaty shirt. Okay, he talks about going down to Venice. Now, I mentioned him going to Venice a long time ago, so I'm not going to take credit for that one. I'll take credit for Clearwater. And he still hasn't gone down to Sanibel Island like I asked him to. So, Tim, can you please go down to Sanibel Island? There's a new resort that opened up down there. Not new, but I mean, they've reopened since Hurricane Ian. And they're not completely open, but they do have rooms available. The rooms are around $500 a night. I look, they might let you have one for half price if you tell them you're a big YouTuber. Heck, they might even give you one for free. Go down there and ask them. And then show Sanibel Island. Show us some shells. And, talk to the owner of the resort. But get us some good footage. Don't get us none of that footage like you gave us the other day. Or I don't want to see you on the beach laying in the sun. I want to see you walking. I want to see you tell me the history of Sanibel Island. How many times it's been hit with a hurricane, that bridge, how many times it's been replaced. Give me some history. I know I can look it up, but I want you to give it to me. All right. He went shooting. He said, I had a good time down at Venice shooting. And, of course, we know he had a camera. He had a photographer down there walking along with him. She, and I'm not trying to dog her or anything, but why don't she buy her some new clothes? I would have thought by now she would have bought something a little bit more. And I'm one of those, I like to be comfortable when I'm out here riding and stuff. I'm comfortable right now. I've got on my number 40 Justin Allgaier shirt. But, if you're going to be, there's a chance you'll be on camera, wear something besides leggings or flip-flops. I mean, that is the most uncomfortable shoe you could wear walking, is a pair of flip-flops. But what do I know? All right. Okay, he said he made a third video, but he had to cut it out and all that junk. And he said he liked the small town feel of Venice like he did Bullhead City. And, Venice Doug from Northport that I watch at night sometimes. Now, he don't film every night. He chases the policeman. He's a scanner, chaser, whatever you want. I don't know exactly what the term is. But, he rides around. And he rides around in Venice a lot. And he's rode around in Venice in the daytime, too. So I've probably seen more of Venice than Tim has. And another place that Tim's never taken us to, he's never taken us to the clothing optional beach down there. I can't remember if it's there near Venice or where. It's somewhere down in there. So he could take us there. Now, you got to be careful what you film, but, he could take us there. Some people might be interested in knowing that. He said that Venice reminds him of the villages. Not really. I would say they're very different if you really checked into it. So that's just my opinion on that. Let's see what else we got over here that I need to say. Okay, on March 11th, he's got his CT scan. You know, he keeps reminding his audience all the time of that CT scan. And he's constantly talking about going out west, traveling. You know, are you going to just get in the hook up that thing that on March 12th and go? I mean, I just don't get it. You know, why don't you just say, this is when I'm going to travel? I can't, you know, say March 20th. That's when I'm going to start, or around there. Quit bringing it up. Quit bringing it up. And then I see people in his comments. Evidently, they have nothing else to say or whatever. Is that you really need to start traveling? You really? Well, he just said he had doctor's appointments he had to go to. I mean, come on, people. I thought you liked the man. You don't want him to go to his doctor's appointments? All right. He says that as soon as everything is clear, he's getting the heck out of Dodge. So I guess around March 18th, and there he went and killed a spider. Now, how do we know it was a spider? He didn't show it to us. It could have been a mouse. How do we know it was a spider? Just ask him. He did see a frog or a toad, whatever. And I reckon he left that alone, which that's good. You know, I wonder if they get really loud in the summertime like they do up here on the coast of North Carolina. I mean, and they're everywhere. Down at my aunt's place that we had she had down at Southport near Oak Island. I mean, at night on her patio, lanai, whatever you want to call it. I mean, there would be almost hundreds of frogs out there. I couldn't believe it. Anyway, I guess that's neither here nor there. So he's talking about the car wash. He wants to, he cut down to the cheaper car wash because he didn't want that tire thing on his tires every week or every day. Who goes to the car wash every day besides Tim? I mean, I'm not an expert, but I just cannot believe that it's good for the car. Now, if you want to hand wash it every day, that's fine. But going through that car wash every day, I cannot feel is good for your car. Just saying. Just saying. So he loves making bacon and eggs at the Tropicana out there in Bullhead City. And he couldn't think of that. He couldn't think of that hotel that he stayed at when he camped. I couldn't believe. And I mean, I know yesterday I couldn't think of a name and I didn't even put the video up, I don't think, or maybe I did. I don't remember which videos I put up. I filmed so much this week and not put them up. But anyway, you know, stop the camera and think for a second. And then if you can't remember what it is, look it up. Come on, it's Laughlin's. All right. Now, what else we going to? Isn't it Don Laughlin's Riverside Casino? Isn't that what it is? I may have that. I mean, I know Laughlin owns it. I know that. Okay, then he starts talking about he wants a new teardrop camper, a bushwhacker, you know, one of them that he had before. But he wants one he can stand up in. And, you know, at first I thought those things were silly, but after I went to the RV show, you know, I could see why somebody would want one of those, but it would have to have a bathroom in it. And the new ones do. Now, he was going to Ocala, but something happened and he didn't go. And I'm thinking he didn't go. One, Miss Tammy didn't want to go. So he didn't want to drive by himself. And evidently, JJ didn't want to go because I think that he had already been. So why didn't Tim go Thursday when JJ was going? I just feel like he didn't want to go. And I think Tammy also told him, I'm not buying it. But like I said, I can see why if you camp like Tim, where you're just pulling into the Love's truck stop or Cracker Barrel, Walmart, why that camper would be okay. But it's definitely not one I would live in. So, and it's definitely not for two people, I don't think. I mean, I guess if you were really close and, you know, now I think probably Alec and Cindy could make it, but then they have their animals. But, and I know they wouldn't buy one of them, but I'm just saying that's about the only couple I think could make it in one of those off the top of my head. So anyway, that was Tammy cut him off from the money, we're going to say, so he didn't go to the Ocala show. And I've been watching what's that guy's name? I can't think of his name. The one that works for he's sponsored by General RV. Can't think of his name. He's lost 100 pounds. He looks great too. He says he still has a few to go, but he looks great. Congratulations. I know I can't think of your name. I'm sorry. Anyway, I'll try to link his channel below. All right, we're going to move on from that one. And he's talking about insurance and all that good stuff. And, I'm going to find something here good to talk about in a minute, because I know this is boring, and because he is boring. And that's the only way I know to do. So here's where he went to Clearwater. At Clearwater, he paid $7 to park. He had to pay for 3 hours, so he paid $21. Well, I understand there were some parking lots on up that may have been a little less expensive. I would have rather parked in the parking deck myself, because especially if I could be under shelter, if it was really hot. Now, he talked about how crowded it was. I think it's always that way up there on weekends. Especially when it's warm, I don't think it had anything to do with spring break. Spring break usually doesn't start until toward the end. And I'm sure there's some that are early, don't get me wrong. But the really big crowd, I don't think is there yet. But what do I know? I'm just a nobody. So he still hasn't shown us any alligators. Y'all know I like alligators. Now, Big Travels, they showed us some this week. Okay. So he talks about traveling Robert in the Fireside chat, and that he wants to be just like him. Sorry, Tim. There's only one traveling Robert out there, and you can't be like him, because he knows how to do it. He's not in a hurry to upload. He goes and films his stuff, and then he comes back home, or comes back to his home base up in northern Florida or wherever, and then he edits and puts it up. When he's putting up a video, he's normally somewhere else. So you don't know. He does it right. Okay, here he does the video on Thursday about leasing versus owning. He's done this video now 3 times over the years. Why can't he just say, refer back to what I did? And I know maybe times have changed, but really, have they changed? Now, I know they're extending mileage for people that want it now. The only thing I can say about leasing versus owning is that I say lease if you want a new car every 2 or 3 years, and you can put it on your taxes. But the taxes may be going away. We may not have to pay no taxes later on. Well, that way, at the end of the year. I'm all for the no tax thing. Put it on, let me pay. I don't want to have to file. Let's put it that way. If I don't have to file, I'm all for it. All right. If you want to take it out of my check, whatever, that's fine. I don't need to have to, pay or get back ever at the end of the year. Just do it. Just do it. All right. What else we got here that I can talk about? That's about it, or else I left some paper somewhere. I think I left some papers somewhere, or I've skipped over them. I had all this stuff I was going to say. I had some notes written up. Now, what did I do with them? Anyway, let's see if I can think of them off the top of my head. Probably not. I'm probably going to have to. I wonder, can I pause this thing? Can I pause this thing? Because I know I had some notes typed up. Okay, we'll talk about yesterday. Okay, he killed that steak. He murdered it. And that's not in a good way. I'm talking about, I don't claim to be that good of a cook. I tend to overcook things. Last week I messed up. Yeah, I messed up some bacon. I was trying to do it like Dr. Berry, where I made it in the pot. And the bacon I had was that organic. Don't try to make that bacon. Make sure you get some with plenty of fat. Anyway, it ended up sticking to the pot, and it was awful. So don't do that. Don't do that. And I'm going to try it again, but I'm going to try it again a little later. Not right now. So he murdered the steak. He can't cook. He said when he went off carnivore, although he was never on carnivore, when he went off mostly meat, he said he wasn't going to eat no potatoes. Well, what was that last night? That was a baked potato. What else? Oh, and he has that non-alcoholic beer. I can tell you, Tim, you will never lose any weight until you get rid of that beer. You have got to get off of it. I don't care if it's non-alcoholic or not. When we get older, our bodies can't process it like we once did. Now, if you want to go out here and try to run 5 miles a day and, work out, try to burn you some calories, you're going to have to probably take a couple hours every day to do that, to get rid of that beer. And, to burn it off. So you've got to be you've got to think about it in your head. Is it, okay, you say you want to lose weight. You've got to look at it. Do I want to lose weight bad enough to give up the beer? If you don't, then quit talking about it. Quit talking about losing weight. And maybe you have. I don't know. Like I say, I hadn't watched every video and all that good stuff. I can't believe I can't find those notes. Anyway, I guess I could get up and go find them, but I don't want to. I don't want to. I'm going to do point and click. That's all I want to do is point and click this morning. And as y'all will see, as the weeks go on, I'll get better at this. I promise I'll get better. Now, let's think of some things that I wanted to say, because I sit here and I think about what do I want to say about Tim. And we'll talk a minute about Dan, New York Dan. Now, y'all know, some of you know that I gave Dan advice and said, please don't go stalking Tim. Now, everybody has different definitions, I guess, of stalking. My definition of stalking is don't go knock at his door. If it's a public place and you want to ride around, I guess that's not stalking. But you don't sit out front in the car. To me, that's stalking. When you're sitting out in front of their home, in front of the camper, whatever, that is stalking. If you're walking around in the neighborhood, especially if there's a hotel nearby that you could be staying, you want to walk, okay. But if it's just a neighborhood, don't be walking around that neighborhood. And I know you went to see Teddy and I gave you I told you handled it well, and you did handle it well. You did. But it's still in my definition, and this is just my definition, not trying to put down Dan or anything like that, because he did handle it diplomatically. It's borderline stalking. Because they didn't invite you. And, I'm not going to get into it anymore. Anyway, just be careful. Just be careful. And, I'm not going to say that if I was in Sarasota, I wouldn't ride by where you turn into the campground if I know where it's at, but I wouldn't turn in. And I can't tell you that I wouldn't go to the Walmart that's nearby, but that's a public place. I don't know that I would go in if I saw his car. If I saw his car in the parking lot, I probably wouldn't go in. I don't want to confront him. I don't want to talk to him unless he approaches me. And the only way I know to do that is he would have to get my email and say, let's talk, whatever. Am I going to give him really and truly, when it gets down to it, I don't want to talk to him. I don't have anything to say to him. As I said before in other videos, I don't want to be his friend. I don't really want to be his YouTube coach anymore. I used to want to be his YouTube coach. I'll admit that years ago, but not anymore. He's just, and what do I know? I can't even get 1,000 views on some of my videos. but that's just the way it is. You never know what the algorithm's going to pick up. You know, he done that Social Security video again, once again. And all I can say about that is if you have to contemplate whether you should retire at 62 or not, you're not ready. That's just, I can't put it any plainer than that. If you have to sit here and you have to figure up at 62 whether you can retire or not, you're not ready. You're not ready. So that's all I'm going to say about that. And I'm going to shut up. Looks like this video is 26 minutes. I'm going to see if I can cut it down. If I can, I might. If not, if you're here, thank you so much for watching. And if you're still here, leave me a green heart for the month of March for St. Patrick's Day. Y'all know I'm a big St. Patrick's Day fan. And to look at the Irish. So leave me a green heart or a leprechaun, and I'll talk to y'all later. Love you. Bye. And I know I'm probably not looking at the camera where I should. I promise I'll get better. Oh, sorry. It's not touch screen.